So this question here, which is Higher Paper 1 question 3, involves the equation of a circle. Now what we have to remember to begin with straight away is what the equation of a circle looks like. That's given by x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared. Now in here, the r is the radius and the a and the b come from the centre of the circle, a comma b. Now this one wants the equation of circle 2. Now in order to get the equation of this circle, I need two pieces of information. I need the centre, the AB, and I also need the radius. Now the question gives me the centre here, my AB. Doesn't give me a radius. However, it gives me enough information to get the radius. What it tells me here is that my radius of my circle that I want is equal to the radius of a corresponding circle given by this equation here. So what I need to do is take this equation, rearrange it and get it in the format that I want so I can read off my radius and then use it in the equation that I need. So what I'm going to do is take this equation here and I'm going to put the x terms together. So I'm going to have x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 2y, take away 26 equals 0. What I'm going to do for each of these here is I'm going to take it and essentially put it into completed square form. So I'm going to factorise this and I'm going to write it as x minus 3 squared, but then I'm going to correct it because if I was to multiply at this bracket here, I'd get an extra plus 9. So I'm then going to take away 9 from that. I'm going to do the same thing here with the y minus 2y, y squared minus 2y, sorry. And I'll get y minus 1 all squared, but then I'm going to take away 1 again to correct for the extra 1 that would come out when I multiplied out the bracket. I know I'm adding the two of them together, and I still have this extra minus 26, all of that equal to 0. So to get it in this format here, all I do is keep my two brackets and shift every single constant across to the right. So I end up with x minus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared. I've got negative 9 minus 1 minus that, so I've got minus 36 over here, which equals 36 across there. So from this, if I were to look at circle 1 and examine it, my centre for circle 1 would be at 3, 1, and my radius would equal the square root of this, which is 6. Now, centre here is not relevant to this question, however the radius r equals 6 is, because I'm going to use that for circle 2. So now I have the centre, I also have the radius, I can just simply write down my equation for circle 2. The equation is given by the x minus a squared. Now a comes from the x part of the coordinate, so that's going to be x minus 4 squared. It's then going to be plus y minus b squared. Now my b comes from the y part of the coordinate, so it's going to be y minus minus 2. Minus minus becomes a plus, so it's going to be y plus 2 squared. So just watch out for that subtle little sign change. And that's going to equal r squared, which in this case is going to equal 36. So there we go. We have the equation of our circle C2 as the question required. Now this question here, worth 2 marks. First mark is for getting the radius. Second mark is for getting your circle. Not a lot of marks on offer here, but it's a fairly straightforward question if you just remember about the 2 bits of information you need and how we calculate them. Once you've got the bits of information, it's plugging into a formula and taking it from there. Now the good thing about this as well to remember is that this formula is part of the formula list that we're going to get given when it comes to the higher examination. So even if you have a monumental brain fart and forget it, go back to the formula list and it'll be there available for you to refresh your memory. Quick point to highlight though is that there was another way to get the radius and the equation of the circle, and that would be to look at the format written here. Now if I was to look at this format of the circle there, I could represent it as x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0, because it's written in that format already. Now the g's, the f's and the c's could then come into play to find the centre of my circle and the radius there. Because I know the centre of my circle is given by minus g, comma minus f. So in this case 2g equates to minus 6. So g is equal to minus 6. So then the centre of this circle is given by 3, and then the 2f equates to minus 2, so f is minus 1. So the centre of my circle is given by 3, 1. Now that matches up with what we calculated, which is great, and the radius is quite simply given by square root of g squared plus f squared minus c, and if we substitute the values in, if we associate g, f and c with the original equation, what we'll end up getting is the square root of 3 squared plus 1 squared, take away negative 26, which gives me the square root of 36, which again is 6. So there's a second way of doing it. We could have used this second technique, if I do that, to separate the two of them out, so that we can get the equation of the circle and the centre again as well. Now again, centre given by this isn't relevant because that's circle 1's centre, not the centre we're going to use for circle 2. But two different techniques, two different methodologies, one final solution, 2 marks on offer. Pick the method that works best for you and stick with it. Remember, that's the joy of something like this. Multiple methods for one answer. Pick the one that resonates best with you. Stick with it. All that we're interested in is you show your understanding and you get the marks.